a different time because of the fact that
So
it is bigger with social media. But also,
now the big thing they talk about with LeBron, because they
guys
always find something else
say, you know
to
what,
knock him about, either this or that. I've never seen a superstar like
good
this.
on the basketball court.
I was online the other day,
Famous.
and they list off like about 10 records that he has already broken. Now, his career is not over, but he has already broken these records with about 3 or 4 more years to go in the league, maybe 5 more years to go in the league. Which is not the point. One day I'm going to come on here, I'm going to show you all the records that he's actually broken. And they keep saying he's not the best player, not the greatest player, he's number 3, number 4, number 5, whatever. So the latest knock on LeBron is that he chased Kyrie Irving out of the out of Cleveland. Now that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Kyrie Irving wanted to be a point guard, which is no problem at all. He wanted to have the ball in his hands more. He wanted more of the recognition, and he wanted to actually run his own team because he is that talented. How is that LeBron James' fault? They always trying to find some old nonsense to put on LeBron James. And it's just silly. And it's just stupid. Here's the thing about this comparison. I'm just going to say this. The dumbest thing that you have ever heard people with so-called intelligence talk about and continue to talk about and continue to talk about and continue to talk about is the comparison between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. This is a comparison that objectively, realistically, cannot be quantified. This is a comparison that you cannot realistically make as being the greatest player because they never played against each other. And the only way that you can compare these two people is through a non-existent reality. In other words, it's hypothetical. Hypothetical is it doesn't exist. So the things, when you look at Michael Jordan's body was actually built for today's NBA. When you look at the style of ball, when you look at him. LeBron James' body is actually built for Michael Jordan's time, to tell you the truth. So you have two great players. Michael Jordan was ahead of his time. LeBron James was behind his time. It should have been back there. Michael Jordan should have been up here. But both of these guys was great, was the best players in their era. But you cannot say that. You can't say Michael Jordan was the best player of all time because all time is not done. All time would mean from now on until the rest of the NBA, until the world leaves, until there's no more human beings, he would be the best player forever. That's stupid. He's the best player of his era, yes. The greatest of his era, yes. But it's just stupid to think that a human being can be the greatest of all time when there's no such thing. All time is infinity. We don't know how long. We don't even know what the baskets themselves is going to look like 10 years from now. We don't even know if the NBA is going to be here. We don't even understand what all time actually is. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of his time. Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of his time. Bill Russell, compared to Wilt Chamberlain, was the greatest team player in his era. Wilt Chamberlain was the greatest scorer. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the best center or the greatest center of his time. So you had players that in their era stood above other people. That's what LeBron does. That's what Kareem did. That's what Chamberlain did. That's what Russell did. That's what, you see what I'm saying? But the greatest of all time, that's impossible to do. It's impossible to quantify. It just doesn't make sense. Why does LeBron's greatness, to be recognized as greatness, have to be better than Jordan when you are comparing LeBron's greatness to what Jordan was great at? Why don't we compare Jordan's greatness to what LeBron's great at? LeBron is great at being a complete player. Jordan was great at being on a great team, right? And not screwing it up. That's what happened. Jordan was on a great team with a great system, with a great coach and great management, and he was a great player and he didn't screw it up. LeBron has never had the same benefits that Jordan has had. Not coaching, not organization, not teammates. and not even competition, to be honest with you. Not when he got to the finals. So what I'm saying is comparing these two is stupid as best. And I can't believe you got Skip and you got, I've heard Magic, and then I've heard Dennis Rodman, and then I've heard Hakeem Olajuwon, and then I heard Stephen A. Smith. And I hear all of these people comparing these two great players in hypothetical situations, comparing these two great players in a reality that has never existed in their lives, in a reality that does not exist. And they keep comparing these two different alternative realities. LeBron is a great player. He done already broke most of Jordan's record. He got more points in the playoffs than Jordan's ever had. You know, now here's when you say great. I'm just going to say this one thing. I'm going to shut up. LeBron has made a record in his career that has never been done and may not ever be done again. And that's when he played the whole championship series against the Warriors and led both teams in every single category. If he's not a great player, how did he do something that no other great players has ever done if he's not a great player? And how many years has LeBron actually led his teams in every statistical category? How many years have this man on the team he was on led his team in every statistical category? And you keep comparing him to other people. Why don't you start comparing other people to his stats? See, now, if you are going to compare people in different eras, you can't do it person to person because the reality doesn't exist. However, if you must compare it, then the only way you can actually objectively compare it is through their stats. LeBron's stats has already surpassed everybody's stats that you know, and he's not even done yet. So let's be honest here. Stop lying on this young man. If you're going to keep lying on the man, if you have to keep lying on him, then stop comparing him then. But if you're going to keep comparing him, then compare him objectively. Compare him reality-based. Use tangibles. Use the stats. Watch his game. Watch the things he does. Watch his passing. Watch his rebounds. Watch his run down blocks. Chase down blocks, I mean. If you're going to compare him, watch him. And do it objectively. Do it realistically. That's for Skip. That's for Bayless. That's for that guy, Bob Parker. They all fools. You know what I mean? And they're not honest. And I can't stand dishonest people, especially when they're arguing about something with conviction. And these fools, they have a lot of conviction when it comes down to LeBron's weaknesses. And they completely ignore Jordan's weaknesses. And they have a lot of conviction when they're talking about what Jordan did. But then when they're talking about what LeBron does, their voice gets lower, their temperament changes, and they say, well, LeBron, he led all scorers and so on, so on, so on, so on. And then they say Jordan got 3, got 6 championships. So they change their tone around. They change how they verbalize it. They make you excited over here. They minimize what LeBron does over here. It's all a mind game. It's all bullshit. It's all media. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Have a good day, and just be objective. Just be honest. You know what I mean? If you're going to keep this crap going on, just be objective.